Poland's military currently has 200,000 personnel, but the government aims to raise it to 500,000. It seems that Poland is truly determined to become the strongest military power in Europe. Today, let's take a closer look at the Polish military. Let's get started. Poland is pushing for mandatory military training for men and is currently running a pilot called the Readiness program. On weekends, Polish men receive military training, typically learning shooting, mission-oriented protective posture, and first aid. Currently, every Saturday, they accept volunteers and provide them with military training. The Polish Ministry of Defense plans to train 400,000 civilians by 2027. Training is currently voluntary, but growing fears of a Russian invasion have led both men and women to join military training on their own. Poland's defense spending is huge. Poland's defense spending is 4.48% of gross domestic product, the highest in NATO, and it plans to raise this to over 5%. Poland currently has 210,000 active military personnel and plans to grow this to 300,000 by 2029. The government's ultimate goal is 500,000 troops, 2.5 times the current number. Prime Minister Donald Tusk stated, while the Russian military has about 1.3 million troops, the Ukrainian military, which is fighting against their invasion, has only 800,000. He also emphasized the need to expand the size of the armed forces. Prime Minister Donald Tusk even stated in March that he would like to have nuclear weapons to ensure his country's security against Russia's military threat. Prime Minister Donald Tusk also emphasized that there is no doubt we would be safer today if we had our own nuclear weapons. The Polish Prime Minister even said he wants to have nuclear weapons. Of course, he didn't mean that he would actually conduct nuclear tests or arm the country with nuclear weapons. It's no exaggeration to say that the growth of the Polish military is currently the best in Europe. Poland set its 2026 defense budget at 4.8% of gross domestic product, the highest among NATO members. Let's examine their equipment scale. After the Ukraine war started, Poland rapidly boosted its military strength. In particular, they attracted a lot of attention by purchasing a large amount of Korean-made weapons. With the second K2 tank export contract in 2025, Poland's military power is expected to grow stronger. The second contract aims to deliver 180 K2 tanks to the Polish military from 2026 to 2030, with 64 of them being produced locally. Right now, the number of tanks in Poland is increasing significantly, so by 2030, Poland's tank inventory will reach 1,100 units. But with this number, Poland will have more tanks than Germany, the United Kingdom, France, and Italy combined, totaling about 950. Within NATO, only Turkey with 2,238 tanks and Greece with 1,344 tanks have more than Poland. Such rapid growth is almost unprecedented in Polish history. South Korea's quick supply is helping the Polish military arm itself faster than any other country. Due to tensions with North Korea, South Korea kept a large defense industry. In contrast, Germany and France let theirs decline and miss deadlines. South Korea delivered equipment ahead of schedule, allowing Poland to arm itself faster than others. On November 30th, Hanwha Aerospace delivered 21 more K9 self-propelled howitzers. Poland ordered 672 in 2022 and has received 364 units over 2 deliveries in 2022 and 2023. In addition, they ordered a total of 290 Chunmoo multiple rocket launchers through the first and second contracts, and already 126 units have been delivered this year. Hanwha Aerospace is delivering them 2 years early, allowing Poland to arm itself faster. Unlike others, Germany and France struggled to supply equipment. For instance, Denmark ordered French self-propelled howitzers, but delivery is still incomplete. Denmark is a prime example. Denmark ordered 19 French Caesar self-propelled howitzers in May 2017, expecting them by 2019, but repeated delays led to a forced suspension notice in June 2020. Now they are considering introducing the K9 self-propelled howitzer. More seriously, Czechia signed for 62 French Caesar self-propelled howitzers in 2021, but due to performance issues, they're now considering the K9 Germany ordered 12 PZH 2000 self-propelled howitzers. However, they still haven't received them yet. Not a single unit has been delivered so far. They were to receive all by 2026, but expectations of further delays are rising. In comparison, the K9 self-propelled howitzer is produced at 2 to 3 units per week. Poland can arm itself more quickly than others by choosing Korean-made weapons over European ones. Poland has also ordered 96 attack helicopters, 64 Apache attack helicopters, which Boeing is now producing. Poland's recent order is the largest order outside the United States in the history of the Apache program, and Boeing is expected to deliver the Apache attack helicopters starting in 2028. The Polish military has begun training Apache pilots and maintenance crews and is currently operating 8 leased Apache helicopters from the United States Army. Kiddin, not only Korean-made weapons, but Poland is strengthening its military power by purchasing weapons from any country, regardless of origin. In August, Poland left the Anti-Personnel Mine Ban Convention due to military threats and can produce anti-personnel mines from February 2026. Lithuania and Finland withdrew together and plan to produce anti-personnel mines for themselves and Ukraine. Poland keeps urging neighbors to boost their military power. Poland, Finland, Romania, and Bulgaria border Russia, so they feel the threat of invasion most directly. They are strengthening their military, but each country perceives the Russian threat differently, so not all are increasing their military power equally. For instance, a global opinion survey by the French magazine Le Grand Continent found that, in Poland, 77% see a high risk of war with Russia, compared to 39% in Portugal and 34% in Italy. The farther from Russia they are, the less they feel the need to boost military power, right? Of course, there were clear concerns that the more Poland strengthens its military power like this, the more strain it could put on Poland's finances. The European Union's Stability and Growth Pact limits annual fiscal deficits to 3% of gross domestic product and national debt to 60% of gross domestic product. As of 2024, Poland's fiscal deficit ratio is 5.5%, exceeding 3%. If defense spending rises significantly, issuing government bonds becomes unavoidable, and several analyses suggest this would harm Poland's economy. Despite this, Poland sees an imminent Russian threat and keeps boosting its military. Germany and France, not Russia, may be most uneasy about Poland's buildup, because what Poland is doing now is not simply expanding its military, but actually shaking the very balance of power within Europe. Traditionally, Germany and France led the European Union in military and diplomacy. Germany with economic strength, France with nuclear and military power. Now, Poland's rise is disrupting this setup. In terms of troop numbers, the number of tanks, and the proportion of defense spending, Poland has already begun to surpass Germany and France. Especially in terms of ground forces, Poland is now being evaluated as the strongest in Europe, excluding Russia and Ukraine. This is an uncomfortable situation for Germany and France. It means they can no longer be the sole focus of Europe's security discussions. Previously, Germany and France represented Europe's stance at security meetings, but now Poland is joining with Germany and offering a new perspective. They argue that Russia should be strongly pressured, that military power should be further strengthened, and that military cooperation with the United States should be the top priority. This directly clashes with the strategic autonomy of Europe that France has advocated. France has insisted that Europe should be somewhat independent from the United States, but Poland believes that being closer to the United States is actually safer. Germany faces challenges despite announcing higher defense spending, as military upgrades are slow. In contrast, Poland quickly invests in equipment, boosts troop numbers, and conducts training. As a result, in terms of European security, Germany does the talking, but in reality, it's Poland that is actually preparing. On top of this, there are also political issues involved. Poland doesn't always strictly follow European Union policies, does it? Poland has repeatedly clashed with Brussels over judicial reform, immigration, and refugees, and openly opposes them when necessary. If this country became Europe's top military power, wouldn't it be difficult for Germany and France to control? That's because it would be a strong, independent country, not just a great power that obeys others. Germany feels pressured to take military action because of its history, but Poland doesn't share that burden, does it? Fear of Russia, past invasions, and its location all justify boosting military power, creating subtle tension in Europe. They officially welcome Poland's military buildup, but secretly worry about Europe's center shifting east, don't they? Right now, Poland isn't just getting stronger, it's asserting its position within the European order, and that change is happening in a way that's bound to make Germany and France the most uncomfortable. Anyway, the size of the Polish military is growing too rapidly. What do you think about the Polish military becoming this powerful? Please share your thoughts in the comments. That's all for this video. Thank you.